Good morning, garden friends. Welcome to the channel. I'm Era, and this is Gardening on Purpose. If you're new here, welcome. And if you're a subscriber, welcome back. I garden in Georgia, Zone 8A, where I do gardening-related videos. For today, we'll be cutting back some perennials. I have a lot of perennials to cut back. And it's going to be raining a lot tonight, tomorrow. I'm just trying to squeeze this video in because they're saying we're going to be getting rain again today and for the next 10 days. So I have a lot of perennials that need to be cut back. They are all showing, well, most of them are showing new growth at the bottom of the plant. So that means it's time to cut it back. I've got Veronicas, I've got asters, I've got yarrow, I've got coneflowers, I've got hibiscus, I've got catmint, I've got what else do I have? I have so many things that need to be cut back. So let's get into it. I've already sanitized my 3 little pruners that I'm using with alcohol. So all I have to do now for something like this, I'm going to start out with my favorite perennial. This is the Autumn Joy Sedum, and if you know Autumn Joy, you know that it starts putting out these beautiful new growth even back in January when it was cold. This plant is so beautiful. I love it because it does so much. When you first buy it, and it's green, and then it turns a little pinky pink, and then it turns red, and then this is the top of it right here, and then it blooms, right? And then when it's done blooming, this is good for winter interest right here, and then winter comes around and it gives you new growth right away. So this has been growing for quite a while. Now for pruning purposes, or just to cut it back, I could just use this shear and do one swipe, but I'll just show you the individual way I do this sometimes. Now, obviously, if I'm in a rush, which when I'm in the garden, I'm not really in a rush, but there are 2 ways you can do it. You can either take your time and just systematically go in and just cut all these down. And my prunes are pretty sharp, so as you can see, just go as deep in as you can go and just cut them back. And that's what I do. And look how it looks already. Now I could go even further in here because I didn't go all the way down, and try not to cut the actual foliage. This is so beautiful, and that's what I do. Or like I said, I could use this guy here and do one big chop. So let me go and do all of the perennials, and I'll show you what I do for each. Now, this one again, I'll finish it up right here. And it's dry, probably why it's getting cut so easy. And another reason I want to do it today is because when it gets wet, it's kind of messy, you know? And look at that. It's done. Same thing with this guy here. Just cut him off. Now, I actually do mulch in place. So all this stuff that I'm cutting is not going anywhere. It's staying right in this bed, because once I mulch, I have a pile of leaves that I use as mulch in mine. I'll leave that there for now, but I'll come back and clean it all up. Okay, so that was my Autumn Joy Sedum. Look how it looks, guys. Look at that. Really, really nice. If you don't have Autumn Joy Sedum, try and find it. It's a beautiful perennial, and it blooms all the way to the fall. Next perennial up is the Veronica. Now, I should know the name of this Veronica because I have like 3 different types of Veronicas in my yard. And as you can see, there's new growth down there. So, again, all I do is I come in and I just cut it all the way down without cutting the foliage. And you want to do this before it really gets going with the growth, because then you'll have to wrangle with it a little bit more. Sometimes it's dry where you can actually just bend the thing and break it, but this one doesn't do that. And look at that, guys. Just like that. Now we'll get more sun, even though we're not getting a lot of sun, but it will get better airflow for the plant. And it looks cleaner. So that's my Veronica. I've got a black-eyed Susan right here that's also showing growth, as you can see. So again, try to do this when it's dry. Don't do it when it's wet because it'll be mushy and stuff. Right? And I love this sheet. I just look at that. So easy. Just like that, it's done. It's got some weeds around it, so I have to clean that up. But just like that, it's done. So that, literally in 3 minutes, I just did my Autumn Joy, one of my Autumn Joy, because I have many, one of my Black-Eyed Susans, one of my Veronicas, right? Let's go over this other bed here, show you some more. Here's a phlox. New growth. Go in, cut right above the new growth without cutting the foliage. And we're done with this particular phlox. There's one right next to it. We're done again. Got another Veronica, 2 more Veronicas right here. Let's try a new plant. Let's actually try the agapanthus because I'm kind of worried about it. Because I don't see any green on it. Let me look. Actually, yes, there's some, yeah, there's some green right there. Let me cut it back. I didn't want to cut it back because I wanted to give it some protection, but I'm going to cut it back today. Just so I can see it better, because there is a green, see a green growth right. You know what? I'm going to leave it alone. We're going to get cold. We're actually going to get some cold tonight. We're going to go down to 37. We were at 68 degrees yesterday, and we're going down to 37 tonight. So I'm going to leave that alone and let it get some, because it's a zone 8 plant. I'm in zone 8A. I literally just got to zone 8A. I've had this when I was in 7B, so it doesn't really make a difference. It's really only 5 degrees difference. But anything I can provide a plant that's on the borderline, I will provide it. So let me just leave that alone. Let's try another plant. Okay. What else we have? We have some Gaillardia blanket flower. I think this one is called Spin Top. I've got 4 of them right here, and they all are showing new growth. Again, I'm just going in and cutting all the dried brown stuff off and then cleaning it out. Go all the way down, cut the dry stuff off. Boom, here's the new growth right there. Okay, what else can I try? This looks like it's a Coreopsis. This one here, I could just, look at that. I can literally just grab the brown stuff and pull it off. And that was the Coreopsis, guys. That was a little bit too easy. That's it. That's the Coreopsis. These are the daisies from Proven Winners. I forgot the actual name. I thought it was buttercream. But those don't even need to be pruned. Those actually, the growth, the new growth came out and the old growth literally fell off, guys. That's what I like about some of those Proven Winners stuff. They are pretty tough. Okay, what else do I want to cut back? Oh, we've got some salvia. This one, I believe, I'm not sure because I moved my salvias so much. I'm actually now a little bit mixed up as to which salvia is what. I think I have a Rose Marvel salvia and another type. I don't remember which one this is, but same thing applies. There's the new growth. I'm gonna go in as far in as I can and cut this off. I'm gonna leave this here because it will become mulch. Mulch is getting quite expensive, guys, so I am trying to use as much natural mulch as possible. I know Home Depot and them have a sale every year where they're selling you 5 bags for $10. I've used that mulch. I don't actually like it. And I know people go and get it because it's, you know, it's literally $2.50 for the bag, but they float. That's one of the reasons I don't like it. It's not because I have anything against the mulch. They actually float, and my yard is a little bit sloped, so they float away from me. That's one. And two, they don't really help my weeds. I think the leaf mulch helps my weeds better. Anyway, enough about that mulch. So yeah, this is salvia, and just like that, salvia is done. This is the artisan coneflower. And we're done. Look at that, guys. Cutting back the perennials is not stressful for me. Actually, it's actually calming, because you know what you're doing is actually helping the plant, and it's really helping you to see the new growth, and you know that means spring is coming. Another coneflower. I'm going to pull a weed here or there. This is the Artisan Series coneflower right here. And another one. And another salvia. This one only had 3, guys. It is too easy to cut back perennials in my yard. Now, I've got some Lantana, but they're not showing any new growth. What you're seeing there, guys, are what we call in the gardening world weeds. Weeds. Pull them out. Pull them out. Pull them out. So the Lantana has no new growth. Lantana is one of the last perennials to start showing new growth and to bloom. They will bloom all the way down to October, November. So I'm probably not going to see new growth until April, May. But I know it's alive. This is a new gold Lantana. New growth, no new growth, so I won't be touching it. In this bed, pretty much the same types of plants that I had in that other bed. That's the salvia. The only difference with this bed is I have a fall in love sweetly anemone, which I can cut back. So again, there's the new growth. All I'm doing is going in and cutting anything that's brown or dead. And I can just do this one pruning now and then come back again and pruning on a little bit later. So it's pretty easy, guys. So what I'll do is I'll go around the entire yard and just do this. Now, for the bigger guys here, let me just go to a bigger plant. Let's go to the hibiscus, because that's going to require the shears. Okay, so this particular hibiscus here is one of my favorites. I've highlighted it a lot in my reels. This is the Bloomables brand. I think it's called, it's white with a red throat, and it's put out by Bloomables, and I'm trying to remember the actual variety of it. Well, it doesn't really matter, does it? But you'll see it. You'll see it come July and August, because that's when they shine. So let me get the pruning for this, because of course this little guy here can't do nothing to this, right? And I've got 4 of these, and of course I have my summerifics as well. So let me get the prunes for that one. So as you can see, guys, it's a lot. I've got a couple of varieties of different plants. This guy here, right here, I'm not going to cut it back because I don't see any new growth yet. This is my lollipop verbena. This guy here attracts so many butterflies. I just cannot believe it. I know that they said verbenas was a pollinator plant, but one day there were like so many butterflies on this plant. But this guy blooms later in the summer. There is no new growth on any of the three that I have, so I won't cut it back. And this was recently transplanted, so I'm not surprised that there's no new growth. But anyway, guys, let me finish up the entire yard and then I'll show you the difference. So let me just give you one little view again of what it looks like when most of them are still not cut down, and I'll show you the final result. Okay guys, so I think I'm done with cutting back all the perennials that I wanted to cut back. And as I mentioned earlier, I have left anything that I have pulled off or cut back. I have just chipped it up a little bit more finer and smaller and left it right there in the bed so it can compost right there. And then when I I have a bunch of leaves in a corner of my yard that I need to run the mower over when things get really nice and warm. And I'll use that as my mulch because, like I said, I don't like the other type of mulch. It actually floats in the water. I like my garden looking a little bit more natural. You know, it doesn't need to be pristine. It doesn't need to be completely lined up, but I like the natural look of it. I like the logs. I like the rocks. I like the leaves. And it gives a very natural look to the garden. I still want it to look pristine. I still want it to look, but pristine can mean leaves. Pristine can mean rocks. Pristine can mean logs. Anyway, guys, I'm really happy with the way things look. Everybody's looking great. I have not had any casualties this year. Well, the year has just started, but everybody looks like they're going to come back. And like I said, with the agapanthus, I will wait. Everybody's looking good. The beds are just here. So the next thing to do is to wait for them to do what they're going to do. And then we can prune or cut back if we need to anymore. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to follow along as I show you how I prune back my perennials, how I cut back plants. Back here, nothing to prune back because this is a new spot like I mentioned in my last videos. I'm just working on that right now, and I'll show you another video when I figure out what it's going to be like. But as you can see, over here is where I was gardening this whole time, all the way over here. And once I got this new space, this is all new space for new beds, and as you can see, I'm already lining the trees. I've already moved back some of the recurve ligustrums to create the hedge, which means that I'll have more space right here for plants. Thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch my videos. I appreciate your comments. I appreciate your likes. Please subscribe. Please remember to hit the notification bell to be alerted on my new videos. And I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.